Peace, family. Welcome back to ABS Brothers Podcast. My name is Brother Ben X.
I'm Dr. Jake Taylor Jacobs.
And I am Mr. Chris Cole. I am.
And today we're going to be discussing billion-dollar teams.
Man.
Billion-dollar teams. For those who don't know, we have the president of BWO on the show today.
Gang.
Brother Chris Cole is in town. And we might as well talk about building a business, man. Building BizCo or building BWO, man, how we did it behind the scenes.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, we gotta introduce the president of BWO a little bit better.
Come on,
than that,
bro.
bro. Because, you know, they don't know our brother. You know, and ABS Brothers, one of the things you got to understand is that ABS and BWO are one and the same. And what we have right here is our missing piece, the missing link, which was Mr. Public Markets himself, a top 1% trader in the world, a NADEX international educator in the trading world, most respected, first black man to be publicly listed as a director on a publicly traded company, Mr. Chris Cole. And so when you talk about the marketing guide, you talk about the business operation guide, you talk about the public markets guide, you talk about $1 billion business.
Yeah, $1 billion team.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So, bro, listen. So this is the first time everybody get to see our third ABS brother, and just kind of tell them, you know, where you been, where you are, and where you have the vision of us going.
Yeah, so the last 13 years, I've been trading full-time, primarily bond futures and equity options. I've been fortunate and blessed enough to become the first African-American listing director of a publicly traded company. I've been back in my bag the last 2 years teaching our people in the community how to navigate through the markets, how to create generational wealth, how to create a second income, how to fire their jobs by learning a skill set that's going to pay them for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
When we decided to come together and collaborate as a unit with BWO, my vision, like I expressed to y'all boys on the first Zoom call that we had, was all of us was 7-figure entrepreneurs in our own right. So I didn't need to collaborate with other men in order to make another 7 figures, right? Because when you start talking about collaborations and partnerships, you're talking about egos and more moving parts and more moving bodies and responsibilities and different things of that nature. So for me, if I was going to take on a JV or a partnership or something of the sort, it needed to make sense. And for me, the only thing that made sense with the power that I recognize all of us possess was to build $1 billion company. With Brother Ben influence, with your information. And again, we you know, and when I say your information, to be clear, I'm talking about private banking blueprint. So that was something that I have been living by for going on 8 years now. Now I didn't teach it, I wasn't an expert on it, but it was something that I had already been in practice. So once I got a hold of your information and understood that, hey, this brother got some 1% information as well that our people need to be knowledgeable of. And when we start talking about building generational wealth, you know, life insurance and real estate, the only 2 ways that we can guarantee the passage of that wealth. I myself said that this was the missing link, and we had the marketing guru and expert, in Brother Ben. It only made sense that we had everything that we needed in the recipe to take this thing to $1 billion company, you know, and what was excuse me, and what would be required was us to have the impact to empower 1,000 millionaires, you know. So you and I talked about it a couple of days ago, how that was something that you had put out on the book in 2016. So just knowing that, you know, God don't make no mistakes, you know, and like I said before we went live, you know, the steps of a righteous man are already ordered. So us being here and being present in this moment is just a testament to all of us walking in our righteousness and adhering to the things that God put inside of us. So I'm just privileged and honored to be a part of it and be leading the ship at the moment.
What I'm seeing, and I hope everybody is watching, is that, you know, all of us at some point have said that we was the missing link. And by knowing yourself and knowing what you bring to the table asset wise is how you can even notice what your missing link is. There's so many people who's not operating in their purpose and in their gift enough to even know what's actually missing. So for me, I said, months ago, probably over a year ago, that Jake was the missing link for me, and I was the missing link for the private banking blueprint, and then he was the missing link for helping people get up off the ground a lot quicker, because digital real estate was helping people make thousands of dollars. I mean, we got people who got up to $20,000, $30,000 a month, but it took a process. It took you branding, it took you building, it took you really, building a business. But trading, you can make that money the same day, or the same week. You can make that money pretty quick. So for me, having somewhere for them to actually put their money was where I needed. Okay, yeah, you learn how to make money through drop shipping. Yeah, you done monetize your YouTube. Yeah, you got products going. But now what? How can we turn this debt cash into asset cash? And this is where Brother Jake was teaching me, hey, man, you can actually buy wealth. You can put these thousands of dollars that you're making inside of a vehicle that's going to guarantee you generational wealth, and you can buy it ahead of time. So that was that missing link. Then when I met Jake, I said, man, this is some powerful information. I have to get this information to my community because I had influence. Our people don't know nothing about no private banking, how to use life insurance, and stop thinking about it as death insurance. But I started to think, Brother Jake, it take you some money to be able to do a private bank. I was like, dang, okay, it sounds good and it's good, but I'm like, but what if they don't have the money? So this is why when we collaborated with the digital real estate and the private banking, it took off so much, because I was teaching them how to make the money, how to build the business. He was showing them how to protect the business and then grow that at a guaranteed rate. So, man, just to see how we all are the missing link to each other is what I want everybody to really hone in on. And we cannot know what the missing link was if we wasn't operating in our purpose.
And it's a testament to just staying in your lane and operating your gift. Because if you try to do things that are not a part of who you are, that's when you get that imposter syndrome. You start perpetrating and trying to. I see a lot of people like, go take your course and they want to teach that. Mm-hmm. Go take your course and they want to teach that. Go take my course and want to teach that. Versus just staying in your lane and just knowing your capacity and expecting God to deliver what you're missing. Yeah. And so like you said, yeah, we were missing marketing, but on the business side, we were missing your marketing genius. On the business side, we were missing your public markets genius, knowing how to go public, knowing what we need to do to position ourselves to go public. Because I was telling Brother Ben when we first met, it was either public or private equity firm. Either way, we was gonna touch $1 billion. I just didn't know how we was gonna do it. And versus me trying to go out there and figure it out on my own, God was like, "Listen, I already got a brother that you don't know yet." Yeah. That I've been raising up that can help us get there. You're just gonna have to submit the reins and then pass it to him because he knows where to go with it. And so I got a couple of things I want to talk about, but the biggest thing I want to talk about right now, Chris, is we went from taking all of our courses in education platforms and putting them together to teach the people. Now we're talking about now the only conversation we're having is how collaborating all of our companies and technologies and systems together for one big conglomerate company. So how do we get to that place where we were able to even trust each other to say everything that I've ever built, I want to bring it to the table and let's do something with it.
For me, I think it goes back to us just talking about what we've been talking about is understanding our purpose and us being true to our purpose and being rooted in our purpose. Yeah. And never from a comparative standpoint. You look at Brother Ben chain link necklace. Well, it got several links on the chain, right? And each of us a link binds things together. Now, what if every link on Brother Ben chain was trying to be the same link, right? We couldn't form a chain. So understanding your purpose, your role, and your position for the greater good and what it is that we set out to build is what allowed us to come together and be able to trust each other and really put everything out on the table so we can really build a community and a $1 billion business and empower at least 1,000 individuals to become millionaires and create generational wealth, but to sum it up, it boils down to really understanding your vision and your purpose, because the things that God purposed us for is for you. So it matters not what you do, what you achieve, how you go about doing it. nothing is going to get in the way of me fulfilling my God-given purpose and exalting him and exuding the gifts that he blessed me with, because those are the things that he blessed me with, so I can't get outside of my mind, my thoughts and my spirit worrying about, oh, well, Brother Jake, he Dr. Jake, he got private banking blueprint, Brother Ben know how to build organic following on Instagram or whatever the case might be. But when we stay in our own lane, I think, even in this short period of time, this 6-7 months, we've all been able to see, growth in each area of our lives, even the things that we aren't necessarily strong in. Our social media presence has grown
tremendously.
Due to the things that we learned by just being in the fold, being exposed, being around, just changing up things here and there. Our understanding of the markets has been able to grow and change. You got Brother being in the chat now, being able to help folks and lead folks in the right direction. And 6 months ago he wasn't able to do that. So he's even gained a new understanding, in my area of expertise, and just that synergy and that flow is key. And again, it's reassuring for me that we moving in the right direction and we work in the way that God ordained us to work, for sure.
And Brother Ben, you talk about unity and uniformity all the time and the difference. And so seeing how ABS and BWO is literally merging to become just one thing, in your mind, does this exude or example what the understanding of what unity looks like, and what the minister taught you?
Yeah, to me, this is a prime example, because this is business. This is much deeper than uniting to throw in a community event. This is much deeper than uniting to, have a rally for some children, because that's going to eventually die out. I mean, it's going to give you that energy, a boost that you need. But then business is like this is your lifestyle. Like we have families that we have to take care of. We got children. So this is a big decision that we have to make. And I can remember in the beginning, merging, it was a little hesitance, like, damn, we gonna put our course in there, you gonna put the whole thing in
there,
the
whole staff.
God dang,
we gonna take everybody.
And man, we done built this thing up, man, all this time. We gonna just give it to them. And even honestly, merging some of the names, like, man, you gonna take ABS off, or man, you gonna take this off. So having to put that ego to the side for what's better, you know what I'm saying? Because we could have easily been making money saying, well, I ain't gonna throw this course in there. We're gonna throw this in there, and then we're gonna keep these things. But we said, man, it's better to just buy all the way in, because in the beginning we was like, well, how can we do both? Okay, you got your private banking blueprint. Is it gonna be our best courses?
Yeah.
So our best courses is gonna be there, and this is how we gonna do it. But then eventually it's like, bro, what are we doing the separate thing for? There's no reason for us to be trying to back and forth. We got to see which numbers is what. No, let's just throw everything in. So we just literally bought all the way in, and we're starting to see it was the greatest decision that we could have made. So to be able to be in a position where it was a hard decision, like we got families on us. Like we was thinking like, well, shoot, if BWO don't work, Chris a 7-figure trader, like, man, this is what he do.
On his own.
But if this don't
and
work,
I talk to you personally about
yeah,
it. I'm like, bro, you go trade. We gotta
if this mess up, man, what we gonna do? So we had to really sacrifice and put that on the line. So to be able to sacrifice and see unity work for the greater good is what, I've been able to see, man. And it's really been a beautiful thing. And what, to answer your first question about what made us trust each other, is honestly that, like, Chris don't necessarily need us. We didn't necessarily need to come together for us to, like he said, make millions. We was already doing that. But the fact that he's an expert and, like you always say, a practitioner, that's what makes the difference. He's not somebody who just reading off YouTube and quoting. He can show us his stats. He can give us his bank statements. He can teach us the skill. I was doing digital real estate. I had people under me that was building businesses, online businesses. You have several banks. You got people under you who can give you testimonials about how they started the bank. So I think for me, this is how we was able to bring it together, because I used to tell people when we was trying to build the shifters, people would always say, I want to be a part of it. And I would always say, that's not how you be a part of it. If you was meant for this, your frequency and your work is going to be so good, I'll meet you at the top. It's going to happen. But you trying to force your way into it because you like what you see, that ain't going to work, because our work is what made us come together. Them seeing the results is what make you trust somebody. So not you just saying I got a great idea or I want to be a part of a group. All of us being practitioners in our lane, actually doing it ourselves, I think is what built the trust in any business like this where you got to merge.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that the biggest thing that I can think about is that we have an unorthodox business structure to where, like, this is a God-led company merger. It's unique in the way that we have mended, which I think the fact that we understand God the same, even though we come from different ways of thinking about God, we understand God the same, and the value that we want to bring the people and the love that we have for the people is so strong and the same. It allows for us to be able to bow down to the inner God, like you say, within the other person, and understanding, like, this ain't my lane. I know for me, I be telling people all the time, it ain't about being the CEO or the president just by title's sake. It depends on where your company is going. And if you understand where your company is going for the betterment of the organization as well as the consumer base, it's about the mission more than it is about the position.
Right.
And for me, it was a battle, right? Because, you know, I started off building ABS by myself, and I knew that we were missing a big major piece, which was a marketing piece, because I was too overly dependent on direct mailers and Facebook ad people that didn't, you know, I didn't really know what was going on. I knew we needed somebody who needed marketing. And so when God presented Brother Ben in my life through happenstance, through crossing the path, it was perfect. But then when God presented Chris Cole in our life, it was perfect for the direction that we wanted to go, because God has already showed me that we was going to be a publicly traded company. Already told me that we was going to be $1 billion company. I just didn't know how we were going to get there. And so when it comes to vision, when it comes to placement, when it comes to position, it's all about who can be at the helm of the organization or the company that's the best fit for where we're trying to go. And I think my biggest showing of that was to say, I was the first one to vote you. I'm like, Chris Cole, president right. of the company, because I knew that by me doing that would show everybody, especially on our team, because at first it was click-based. It was like ABS over here, the new BWO people over here, and it took us a while for us to all kind of merge. But I think all of us got on the same playing field when I even bowed down to saying, listen, there's this public side, this public market side that I don't know. And if in order for us to go there, we have to completely and almost blindly trust the fact that Chris has the best interest of all of us in his heart, because and honestly, it's because he has children, family, mama, sister, you know, in the organization. You know, seeing him hire his family, have them quit their jobs to come be a part of the organization, much like we've done, it let me know, okay.
Yeah. You know, and a difference maker there is it's a lot of people with knowledge and information that lacks vision.
Yeah.
You know, and when we start talking about doing God's work and living his purpose, we have to first understand who we are as his children. And if we look at the essence of God from the onset of creation, God had to have vision before he could manifest anything.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of people out there with information and knowledge about different things, but but obviously the difference maker for us is I think all of us were able to settle into our vision, and more importantly, have faith and trust God for the things that he promised and purposed us to do as individuals. And I think that was the key component of alignment. So for me, it was easy to bring my family in. It was easy for me to come out of my shell. You know what I'm saying, and say, you know what, I'm gonna learn this family business thing and build with folks that I didn't necessarily think that I was gonna build with before, because I know I was purposed to do it. You know, and again, even in the midst of my success, being able to acknowledge that even though that folks had already considered me successful and I was already successful financially, me in my heart, I knew I wasn't doing what God had purposed me to do, you know, and the things that he purposed me to do. And I knew that he purposed me to do was going to impact millions, a nation of individuals. You know what I'm saying? So when this came about and as things began to unfold, it was just a matter of me exercising my faith for the things that God had already showed me to do in the first place.
One thing that I think is big off of what you're saying, which I was going to go into, is vision. Because, when Chris constantly reminds of this is $1 billion business.
He does it almost every day.
And, my thought process on focus on passive impact versus income, although he's saying a number, behind that number is impact. Yeah. 1,000 people making $1 million or making 1,000 millionaires. So we have a mission out front. And when that mission is out front and neither one of us has got to $1 billion yet, it causes us to get into a state where we have to grow or we have to depend on one another. I think that is a part that we may be missing on building this trust, is knowing, we was dope together. Yeah, you was dope with the wealth stand. Y'all making this money, but we ain't got to no billion. So we have to lean on our brother. We have to trust our brother in some type of way, because we're going to have to do this together to get to $1 billion. Like Chris said, hey, we want to just do a couple million. We can do that on our own. Us coming together to do some millions, that ain't nothing. But $1 billion is a goal that we have to reach for, that we have to stretch for. And I've even had to stretch myself. Yes, digital real estate done helped thousands of people all over the world. The tribe is helping people. Yes. But if we want to get to that billion, if we want to get to 1,000 millionaires, I got to stretch even my lane. So now I'm going into personal development. I'm going into the DISC test. I'm going into helping people understand they give who they really are so that they can expand the business. I'm having to study people who's ahead of me in this lane already doing it and say, yeah, digital real estate is good, but I have to now, which I kind of already had, systemize digital real estate, scale that. Now we got somebody that one of the students that we developing who's going to take over that lane so I can do much higher things. So we have to stretch ourselves. So when you coming into a business and you have a goal, you can't think what you have been doing up until that point is enough, because it's not. So us having to scale is something that I want to go into. How have you seen yourselves have to scale mentally and outside of your comfort zone to get to this $1 billion mark that we going to?
I think I'll start. I think for me, when God gave me the vision that we would be a $1 billion company, I immediately, like most people do, you just kind of put it off. You put it off, 10, 15 years, right? Like 10, 15 years, I can get there. I will be such and such, amount of age. I'll still be amongst the early billionaires. It gives us time to kind of build. And then when Chris came to the table, he was like, we're going to be a $1 billion company in less than 3 years. That screwed me up. I'm like, wait a minute. The guy told me $1 billion, but 3 years, 2 to 3. And Chris like, but y'all don't understand. Like y'all don't understand how fast it's working. Y'all ain't gonna mess this up for me. Like this, you know how Chris get. I'm like, I don't want to mess it up. I'm calling Ben like, I don't want to mess it up, bro. Like I need to move faster. And it just forced me, honestly, for me, a couple of things. The first thing, it forced for me to double down on my faith. If I believe that God told me that we'll be a $1 billion company, if I have a visionary that believes in God the same way that says we're going to do it in 2 or 3 years, I have to double down on that. Okay, 2 or 3 years. Okay, so what of me is going to be required to shorten that time span that I gave myself? So in my mind, I had to go to, who did I say I was going to be in 10 to 15 years? I have to become that person in the next 18 months. And that is somebody who thinks bigger, thinks faster, that adapts quicker, that's able to make decisive decisions that I was already making faster, building operations faster, moving faster, and trusting faster to be able to do it, and then finding talented people that are already to what we need at that level and doubling down on that. And then the last thing is, I still had a millionaire's mindset of money, not a billionaire's mindset of money. And this is one thing I learned from you. Chris said, you gotta let it go. You gotta, bro, it got to go. We gotta spend it. And I'm like, yo, no, like We got to have staff. We got to have this. And just in case anything happen, we got about 3 years and stuff. Chris like, no, we just need 3 months. Let's go. And so it forced me to really start thinking about myself in a different way and asking myself what was stopping me from feeling like I could be a billionaire before 35, not 45. You know, what can I expect out of, what is stopping me from thinking that way? Is it my current relationships? Is it my current friendships? And really looking at my entire situation and saying, why didn't I think sooner? Like, it's questioning myself. Why didn't I think sooner? Like, what about this that made me think that I had to do such and such and such and such to get to this specific place versus saying I deserve to have it now? What can I do now to make sure I'm ready? And it literally came back to that association of money. Like, you know, I was because we built everything debt free. I was like this with money. Now I'm like, yo, you know, it got to get spent. It got to get invested. We need more staff. We need more of this. We need more equipment. We need all of these things. And it just forces me to actually get to that space. Like, if I was a billionaire, how would I think about money? I need to be that way now, because if I'm going to be running the operations of the company, I can't be attached to the very thing that can help get us to the place that we need to be.
Yeah.
Me personally.
That's for sure. To answer your question, for me, you know, it boiled down to me understanding that $1 billion company was not made, but it was built. So when we start talking about what was required of us as individual, you know, it really put me in a space of breaking down how can I build up the people around me, and how can I become more effective and efficient at doing so. So with laying out the courses, the teachings, the 1% trading room, and really pouring in, you know, really being vulnerable as a human being, giving people an opportunity to know me in a light that most never get the opportunity to, and just providing that level of transparency and clarity to help build the confidence of the community, you know, that to help build the mentality of the community is what I know to be the only way that we can reach and become $1 billion company. So for me, the scaling aspect is not necessarily about more transactions or more money, because that's the byproduct of me pouring into the people, me becoming more vulnerable, and me actually being intentional about not making money, but building the people in the community around me and everything that I do.
Right.
And that was the mindset that I had on the new lane that I'm about to get into with this personal development with the DISC test, because when I think about our goal of 1,000 millionaires, like Chris said, it's not, you know, more transactions, because we honestly got thousands of students already. Right. So we already got the 1,000 that may be those millionaires, but it's on us to develop them and pour into them and think about how can we tailor. So my mindset, and Jake knows, always on how can we make the courses more easier. You know, man, they overwhelmed. What could we do to make it less overwhelming? So that's the lane that I'm in now. And what I'm noticing from being back active in the tribe, which I think will be a very imperative part of that, is the trauma. You know, the mindset. You know, there was a sister who revealed something about the study groups. You know, she going to the study groups and how she'll go, but she can't engage. And I sent something, so I said, but why? And she was like, you know, she tried to, I don't know. And I pushed her deeper, and man, she had a problem that stemmed from her being molested or something all the way from the age of 3. And so there are so many people today who can't even move forward business-wise or even see themselves being one of those millionaires because of them feeling unworthy or not good enough from something that happened years ago. So us seeing and realizing it's not me necessarily getting out or automating, because technology not going to always transform our people. It's going to be a word, it's going to be a spirit, it's going to be an energy. So me understanding that fact is why I'm getting back into, man, let me help them discover their gift. Let me help them discover their purpose. Let me help them see and get knowledge of who they are as a human being, why they are reacting the way they're reacting. Because when I think about people not taking a trading course, like if you just take the trading and do what Chris is telling you, bro, you're going to succeed. I mean, we've seen several results. But I'm thinking, but why they not taking it? You know, why they're not listening to it? Why they going straight to the money? Why they skipping mindset? And when we start to develop that and see why human beings are not activating the courses that we have, I think that's when we are actually going to get there. Because if you ask me, we got everything that we need: how to build an online business, how to protect that online business, how to make money with trading, mindset, whatever the case may be. But now it's on us figuring out these human beings, and that's going to do
really
it.
Getting down to focus on kingdom building.
Yeah.
And when we start talking about trauma, you know, there's a lot of trauma that, you know, we all carry with us just by being African Americans or black folks in America. But when we start discussing and breaking down other traumas, you know, it's something that is also often taboo and seems to be very elusive for us as a people. And the fact of the matter is, when we start talking about trauma and healing, it's not so much because we can't go back and change the things that has happened to us, but it's about going back to take the time to understand what has happened, the relationship that we continue to have with that trauma today, and how it's affecting us in our lives present moment as well. So how can we build people up in a way that's going to put them in a position to address these traumas, change their relationships so they can heal? Because again, healing is not changing what has happened. It's changing the relationship with what has happened so you can move forward in a positive and in a productive light. And a lot of us, you know, we get so caught into chasing money or chasing a bag or just focusing on the monetary or the materialistic aspects, because those are things that, you know, most of us don't come from. So we want the shiny toys, we want the money, we want the financial freedom. So we spend majority of our time chasing those things, and we don't spend nearly enough time working on the trauma, the pain, the disappointment, the hurt, you know, and the things that we deal with mentally and spiritually that's keeping us from elevating. Because shit, we can create 1,000 millionaires, but if we got 1,000 millionaires with trauma, we got 1,000 magnified trauma rich people running around here. You understand what I'm saying? So I tell people all the time, money don't make you real. Money don't change you. Money only magnifies the person that you already are. So until we start really diving into understanding who we are as a person, as a people, the money is insignificant. Right, because we can't pass the money down per se, right? And what good is passing the money down if we also pass the trauma and the hurt down as well?
That's good. Chris, let me ask you this, because a lot of people have joined the course for your trading. They want that, man, they seeing the bread. Man, I made it in a week. I made it a couple of days. How do we, or how would you suggest somebody balance that? Because on one end, somebody may know, man, I am dealing with trauma, but bro, I'm also dealing with these real bills too. Right. So like, how do I balance spending time focusing on mindset? Then I got these millionaires who got money telling me it ain't always about the money, it's about the mindset. How do I balance? I got to learn some type of strategy, but then damn, I got to deal with the trauma as well. So how would you advise somebody to balance that? Yeah,
so for me, especially coming from my background, that was something that I had to deal with personally, right? And with this new 2-week intensive course that's probably going to end up being 4 weeks because of the way that I'm breaking it down, is really starting to people out from understanding why are they doing it in the first place. Because we do have all the pieces of the puzzle here as far as life insurance, trading, marketing, you know, building a business, entrepreneurship. You know, we got the tribe, you know, that helps with the mentality and the spirituality of things. And people feel overwhelmed, but people feel overwhelmed oftentimes because they don't have any direction, you know. And as we build a company or build a corporation, even though we're setting out to free our people, we also have to understand the inner workings of a corporation and how it's built. So a corporation has SOPs and protocols and procedures and you know, routes and plans that they have mapped out for their people. So one of the things that I know that we need to focus on, and I'm focusing on in the next course, is really getting down to the nitty gritty of putting the responsibility on the people to understand why are they doing this in the first place. Am I looking to create a second stream of income? Am I looking to fire my job? Am I looking for financial freedom? Am I looking to build long-term wealth? And I think that's something all of us have taken for granted because we went through that process several years ago.
That's
right. When we were out here living with no direction or understanding of how we was moving, we was just doing shit. You know what I'm saying? But then not until we started to map this out and come up with a plan and a process and know how to build out a daily task, you know what I'm saying, and start to move according to that plan consistently, did we see and experience a change. So this go around in class, I'm really being intentional about helping them build out their individual blueprint, their individual process. These are the things that I'm going to wake up. All of us here, it's things that we do every single day that's part of our routine that contributes to us being in the position that we're in now. And we started most of these things several years ago. We now just seeing the fruits of the labor.
Now,
You know what I'm saying? But it's easy to get excited about money when you don't currently have money and you see other people making money and you part of the community. But ultimately, it's about getting these folks rooted in their own individual process, them understanding what a process look like, what that work looks like on a daily basis in order to get them moving in the right direction.
So speaking of that, because we do have everything we need inside of BWO, but I also want Chris, because most of the people come because of the fact that you can teach them how to turn $100 into $10,000 based on trading.
Right.
But the biggest thing I want to kind of point out is that the small history of your story that most people haven't hit on or don't know is that you had a management company, like a wealth management company that you used the profits from to trade off of, because it was like you had a business,
right?
Then you use the profits from that business to be able to trade and grow,
right?
And what I see a lot of people doing is they just want to go to trading, but they have no outside income of money coming in,
right?
So they can build off of. Can you talk about the need of the balance of building a business or having some type of service or value that you bring to the marketplace that can consistently bring in cash flow, so that you can be able to endure the ebbs and flows of?
Yeah. So it's definitely about diversification, right? And diversification sounds boring and so cliche, but it's absolutely essential when you start talking about money and creating wealth and building wealth. As I teach, money is just the evidence of the transfer of energy. So we know we can't create it nor destroy it, right? And it's called currency, so the root of that is current, so it must flow. So there's going to be ebbs and flows and ups and downs of every financial market because the energy is constantly moving from one place to another and through other mediums at all times. So until you understand how to properly put together a system or a business, as we call it, to capture the ebbs and flows of each of the ebbs and flows that take place in the market, you're going to experience great success and great pitfalls from time to time, and that's emotionally taxing. It can be disheartening and unencouraging at times, especially if you just focusing on it from one place, like, oh, well, I'm just going to focus on Nadex right now. And then the first week you get in Nadex, we got 5 losing trades, but you're not in the futures. You're not in the monthly stock portfolio, class or anything of that nature. So building that foundation is key from the start, because you always have to have something that, and I don't want to say fall back on, but you always have to have something that you can continue to build upon. Right, in the event that things don't go as planned, and that starts with having that understanding of basic business principles and how money flows, and that's exactly what I teach inside of the BWO of teaching people how to set up that foundation. I'm buying stocks to create generational wealth, and then also on a weekly basis, I'm trading options and earning income against the stocks that I own that's building me generational wealth as well. And now I got the futures and I got the Nadex that's creating me a weekly income as well. So understanding asset allocation, not from a dollar amount, but from a percentage standpoint, and how to tie all of those things together is absolutely key, because other than that, the success is just going to be short term. It's a reason that I've been able to do this for 13 years and not had to go sit on nobody 9-to-5 job. And it's not because I know which way the market is going to go, but it's because I understand systems. Us as black folks, we understand systematic oppression. We understand systematic racism. And now it's time for us to understand systematic finances.
And with that being said, we know Dr. Jake Taylor Jacobs has a born day today. Not only a born day today, but launching the BizCo system. Everything that we've been able to do behind the scenes, the automation, everything behind the scenes, which we'll explain, to run the 7- and 8-figure business. But before we get there, we're going to go to a commercial break. So we're going to end off with the BizCo launch right after this commercial break. See you in a minute. Well, I'm glad I don't have to do stuff like that no more. That's the type of job I used to have, working with machines, working with physical labor. Now I make money off using my mind. You ever thought about AT&T, your insurance bill and your light bill? You pay that bill on a monthly basis. So yeah, your light bill may be $60 or $90, $100, whatever the case may be. But imagine that same company is getting paid off for hundreds of thousands of people. If you had a product for $50 and you sold it to 1,000 people every month for $50, that's $50,000 a month. I want to help you all develop different products, different services to make money anywhere online as long as you got signal and Wi-Fi. If you click the link below, I've developed an ebook. It's called 50 Ways to Make Money Online. I want to help you out. See you on the other side. Peace, family. Welcome back to ABS Brothers. As I said before we left, we're going to end off with the BizCo systems. Brother Jake handling some business right now, but he'll be right back. But before he even get here, BizCo system is really for anybody who is a entrepreneur, anybody who has a business that they are running online and truly offline as well, because there's many things that BizCo offers that the average entrepreneur needs. I know me growing when I was by myself, and I'm pretty sure anybody who has an online business can relate to this. You had to have SamCart, which is your processor. You had to go look for ClickFunnels, which is where you can develop and create your funnels. A funnel is basically where you coming in at a low ticket product. You may have what you call a tripwire. You're offering something for $2, $3, $4, and that's going to take them up an actual funnel. You also need websites. You're also going to need email marketing, which is your MailChimps, your what's the other one? ConvertKits, things of this nature. But as an entrepreneur, sometimes I was signed up for so many different things that I had money coming out of my account, and I honestly didn't even know what it was for. You know, I done stopped using my email, but it's still coming out because you had so many different branches, so many different arms that you had to go through. So what, was decided was, man, let's just put it all in one box, one business in a box. You get everything under one system. You ain't got to worry about these various prices, and what you'll be paying for BizCo is less than paying for all these different things. So what I was just doing was introducing them to BizCo and the solutions that it was going to bring to the entrepreneurs. But you can go a little bit deeper into it on what they're going to be getting inside of this BizCo systems launch.
Yeah, so in the BizCo system launch is really the essence of automation, systems, technology, and efficiency all wrapped in one system, if you will. And the very first launch of the BizCo system, which is a combination of things. When BizCo was first created, it was created, I was bit by an ant, believe it or not, Brother Chris. And I was so mad at this ant because when I don't know about y'all, but when an ant, like a red fire ant bites me, bro, my legs swell. I just hate it. Fun. Yeah, it's not fun at all. And I literally went online on Google trying to figure out how to exterminate all of the red ants in the world. Like, I wanted to get rid of all the mugs. And then as I began to research, I realized by killing all of the ants, what detriment it would have on the ecosystem. And I said, wow, something this small literally has this much effect in the world. Matter of fact, I learned that ants dig such small enough holes in the ground, which helps water be able to penetrate and water the roots of all the trees. So if you get rid of all of the ants, you get rid of the very thing that can feed water to the roots of the trees that will end up killing our ecosystem. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then I thought about it like business. I said, wow, how many of us overlook the small things like an ant that affect the efficiency and the growth of our companies? And I was like, man, it'd be crazy if we had some type of biz code ecosystem. And I was like, wait, no, biz code. And I woke up one day and God kind of showed me how business automation technology is supposed to work. And I wouldn't even own technology nor using automation, but he kind of just showed me in a vision how everything was supposed to look. And so when you think about like the backing of all of our businesses, all of our brands, there's a combination of people, technology, and automation that allows for it to run efficiently and effectively. And when I see a lot of brands and businesses out here, they just go to technology, but it's only one person running the technology. You need a combination of both people and technology in order to make a business run efficiently and effectively. And so you talk about processes and systems and automation and all these things that all have to adapt to each other in order to make the business be able to grow as effective as you want it to grow. And so when you think about it, then we began to start saying, okay, boom. So we looked at all these technologies and SaaS products that were out there, and we realized that there's a lot of companies that, first of all, were created by computer geeks, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. These were people who literally just coded stuff because they saw what was going on in the market and the need, but they have never been in the same trenches as entrepreneurs to be able to know what an entrepreneur actually needs, what the focus of that entrepreneur will, should be, in building companies offline and knowing the struggle of being able to grow an offline business, which is why I tell people any day, if you're able to build a 6-figure offline business, you can easily grow a 7-figure online business. Mm-hmm. Because offline business, and you know this, Chris, offline business is hell. You know, having to go pass out cards, meet people in person, do all that stuff, and have to do everything physically. If you can learn how to adapt to this online world, it's easy to conquer this online world because it's nothing in comparison to the type of workload that's required to build an offline business. And so when we're looking at all these dynamics, I'm looking at all these SaaS products, these technologies out here, and it's confusing to the consumer. And it's especially confusing to the person who's built an offline business, trying to learn how to go online, but you're using 20 different companies, 20 different systems, 20 different platforms, duct taping it all together to make it all work, which is what we did. But we was wiring all these companies together, and it absolutely didn't make sense. So the very first rollout of our BizCo system, this business ecosystem, where we can be able to build more efficient, more effective businesses in this day and time. Because of what COVID did, it just highlighted what was already happening. All it did was force people to adapt to a world that was already there that we just refused to adapt to, which is this online technology, artificial intelligence, automation type of world. That's all COVID did. So in this rush, in this space, you need a platform that can be able to properly transition you into this world that you don't have that many stops to go to. So the very first product of our BizCo system technology we created was the BizCo Builder. And the BizCo Builder is exactly what you were talking about. That BizCo Builder is the base where all things are built off of, just like a foundation of a house. You got to have a base where things are built off of. So in this base, like you talk about, Brother Ben, you need a house. You need a place where people can come to, a place where people can patron your business. You need a store, a storefront, a place where people can come and participate in e-commerce and transactions in a space that's virtually online, which is your website. These are your landing pages. These are your funnels. Matter of fact, I was just showing Chris today that most people fail to realize how important a funnel is. You know, we made like $60,000 from a funnel that we ran the past 24 hours, and the funnel is nothing but when you go to a restaurant.
More than that.
Yeah.
90,
we ran it up on a funnel, but when you go to a store, a grocery store, there's a reason why they have candy and snacks and discount items while you're waiting in line. These are called upsells. So because they're trying to get more stuff in your basket as you're going back to the grocery or back to the cash register. And so there's a purpose and a reason why grocery stores put certain things in certain aisles in specific areas, because they know the mind of their consumer. So imagine if you were able to build this store or this funnel to where when somebody buys one thing, it automatically takes you to another thing that is comparable to what they just purchased. See, this is the mindset or the mechanism of the mind that's important. And so a lot of people, what we realized in our business, we were missing out on at least $1 to $3 million a year just because we weren't giving people another offer. They were coming for one thing and we just left them with that one product. But we didn't offer them comparable products that match that. When you go to Foot Locker, what they say, you need some socks with that.
You need some shoe cleaner.
You need some shoe cleaner. Not only shoe cleaner, watch this. Now you need some water repellent.
Yeah.
Because you need some water repellent to protect you from having to clean your shoes so much. You leave out that thing, you got 2 shoestrings. You got water repellent. You got shoe cleaner. And it was an additional $30 to you, but take that $30 over 10,000 customers for the year. That's a lot of bread. That's money that we're leaving on the table, and a large number of businesses fail at capturing all that extra money that they can make just by offering products and services that are comparable to that. It's like going to the fast food restaurant and you going through the drive-thru and they say, "What else can I get you? What else can I get you? What else can I get you?" Versus saying, "That's it? Is that all?" When you say that's all, that's literally telling the consumer, okay, yeah, I don't need nothing else.
Yeah.
But when you say, "What else can I get you?" What do we always do to the menu? No.
And shoot, some restaurant, they're going to give you the discount up front. Hey, would you like to try our shrimp dinner today before you get started?
Real talk, shrimp dinner. Hey, this is on the shelf. This is on the shelf. And so when we think about that, all of that is important when it comes to the business ecosystem, because guess what? If the customer doesn't buy it from you, they're going to go purchase that product from somebody else.
That's for sure.
Because they want some type of comparable or compromise or some type of product that fits what they purchase. So if you can create products and services that can add that value to the customer, it literally can increase your baseline or your profit by literally 50 to 100%. You're talking about more efficient, more profitable, more beneficial companies. And guess what? We offer that inside of the BizCo Builder. So not only are you able to build a drag and drop website. Drag and drop was important to me because when I first came online, I didn't know how to build no website. I didn't know how to code. But there was this one company that I used, and all I had to do was look at their templates, take a template that I liked, and drag and drop and remove what I liked and what I didn't like. We got the same thing there. We got the funnels where you can actually build out a funnel and add other products and offers that these customers can literally go down this aisle and purchase more things from you. We got a landing page. A landing page is important. Why is a landing page important? A landing page is important, especially to an online business, because when somebody is going to your page for a watch, they don't want to go to a page with clothes on it. They want to go directly to one page that has that watch. That's called a landing page, a page that they can land on where they can purchase the very thing that they're interested in. And the landing page is important because once they purchase that and they see that, inside of the funnel, they can get other offers that are comparable to that. So if I had a company that was a watch, clothing, and jewelry company, and that person came to my page for the watch, I will only show them the watch. But inside the funnel, I will show them a shirt that matches that watch. And then when they purchase that shirt or they deny that shirt, I'm going to also show them a bracelet that is comparable and it goes with and complements this watch. So I'm showing them things that they never even would have thought of that they would have wanted that goes with the watch. But I'm not sending them to a website where they can get confused with all this other stuff that's there, and it's going to literally discourage them because it's causing too much work. You can build that on our BizCo Builder. So we got website building, landing page building, funnel building. We have where you can send out emails to your customers. We have information where you can capture their information so that you can collect their data. And the last thing is for those that are educators, those that want to educate their consumer on how to use the product or teach or create products or services where you're actually teaching the consumer on how to make more money. Or when you want to be a coach, you can actually build an online coaching platform on this BizCo builder. So it's everything all in one, and it's literally half of the price of all of those other products and companies that you would have to go through separately, which is the BizCo builder that we have, which is the base of the BizCo system, not including all the other technologies that we're going to be teaching you and educating you on and releasing throughout the year so that you can have a much more efficient, automated a business online. Because if your business is not online in this world today, your business does not exist. If you do not have an online presence, you do not exist in this day and time. So you need to focus on transitioning to an online world. And BizCo has not only the system and technology to help you get there, but we also have the education that can help transition you.
And you can go to www.bizcolaunch.com, www.bizcolaunch.com, and that is BIZCO launch.com. This is the ABS Brothers. My name is Brother Ben X.
I'm Dr. Jake Taylor Jacobs.
And I am Chris Cole. I am.
See y'all next time.
Peace. Love gang.